My objection when I think of family offices might be like, all right, well, I'm making a couple of millions a year. Family offices are for hundreds of millions a year. Business owner making all that money, billions of dollars. So who am I to think I need a family office? What do you think about that? Do you think there's a level of entry or anyone can need it?
I love that topic. That's such a great question. And I love to pounce on that question right away because that is actually the key. You like nail on the head. The convoluted space of family office is only there because it's not regulated quite well yet. So it's not your fault either as an audience to not understand what a family office is and to only know the institutional side of it. The institutional side is what you're hearing about those 100 million and up guys that are being chased around by, say Credit Suisse, UBS, Goldman Sachs, because they have big money managers, they have full on maybe even concierge services attached to it. They might even look at how are you going to realize your investments and that version of taxation. They might even show you some tax strategies. So actually, if you look at their websites, you'll see that they currently have family office sections for those ultra high net worth clients that are above 100 million. And that's been traditional. And I could attribute that to the Rockefeller family because when they first started, they kind of really retailed the model from like the kings and queens to down to the billionaires of today, built their internal teams because they're not going out and working with an agent here, a CPA there, and a financial advisor that they're hosting their team, paying their salaries, and their entire job is to take care of the family, right? So everything that takes care of the family. So what I wanted to do I'm not going to say I'm a Rockefeller, but on the fractional side, I wanted to retail that model for guys that are under 100 million. And I would rather even say they're faster investors and understand that they want to get to that next 100 million to 200 million net worth and maybe even a billion. And those guys don't have enough tools. And because I'm in California, it became rather easy to bump into these guys who are just 10 million-ish, maybe just had an exit, looking for the next investments, high-tech employees that make a few million a year W-2 income, just can't get away from these horrifying taxes. That's where I come in and say, okay, let's offset how to do this offset. And the model is still the same. The model is still the family office, gotta have my advisors on one platform, but you want to fractionalize it, right? You don't want to be paying a couple of million in salaries. You want to be able to tap in, understand, strategize yourself until you get to that point where you need full-time employees. So what happens to that market? There's a big gap. And that's the market we're tapping into and looking at private markets. So this is the private market side. The non-institutional side, because the institutions are not really able to charge these guys a couple of $1 million in fees, so they're rather less interested in what they do. Yeah. You might get some vanilla advice at that level, but you're not really getting customized fingerprint advice and strategy so that you can really build it and systemize it into your family. Generation 1 makes it, generation 2 usually loses it. And that's the real pain point. So that's what I was trying to address. And that's how I ended up in the family office space. So when you think about family office, think about these questions. Is this an institutional family office? Is this a family office that is run by just one single founder and it's only about their mission? So that's the single family office side. The multifamily office side is rather different. It could be like 5-10 families and friends that have got together and made an investment pot and they invest together. Those will not usually let you work with them, right? Because they already have their group of trusted people. Yeah. And then there's the service side of family office. It's the same thing that the institutions are giving to these ultra high net worth families, but the service side has now become even fractionalized. So now you can see registered investment advisors offering these services. You can see awesome, financial advisors looking into more than just one service. So that side has become the service side of the family offices that are actually providing ultra high net worth level services. So understanding this space is convoluted because it's rather new and only about 15 years old. So I expect a lot of regulatory changes, and how you can protect yourself is to identify who you're talking to. So ask for licensing, ask for investments, ask for what is your mandate? Are you a single family office? Are you a multifamily office? Are you a service provider? Are you an investor? Those are the questions you want to ask, and then understand in which category are you dealing with. So for business owners, it's rather easy to build the similar type of little trusted team of advisors. If just because they're under 100 million doesn't mean they can't have a family office. It's a very long answer, but to understand the family office space, you just kind of have to understand a little bit the history of where it came from.
No, that's very interesting. And like, just to give you a bit of context, our audience, obviously there's a lot of people making more than 8 figures, even some 9 figures people that come to our channel and share with us. But the majority of our business owners are paying, let's say, between $50,000 to $250,000 a year in taxes, right? And this is the market where they started with their CPA and then they kind of rode with it until they're paying that amount of taxes. And now they're at a point where they're like, yeah, I don't want to keep paying 6 figures a year in taxes. Do you think that's a good moment to kind of explore a fractional family office? Like, what's the next step once you feel like you're capped out with your CPA and you're looking, you know, there's more out there, you're making a couple 7, maybe 8 figures, and you just want to maximize your tax strategy. What's the next step?
Yeah, I would actually give that 2-step solution for that. So you might not want to leave your CPA. You might want to keep your CPA in-house, but you should look at a strategy play rather than just moving your CPA play. So if you're capped out, you're paying like 100,000, 200 in taxes, you definitely are at a point where you could have a good understanding with like a strategist like me, who sits down, has a conversation with you, plans out with you what your goals are, and then works on the strategy and tells you like the next 10 steps. Then it's a DIY. You take that plan, you work it out with your CPA, and you're by yourself. I've done a lot of that work. In fact, if you're paying about 200K in taxes and it's pretty consistent, you could expect to work with maybe once every 2 years and you would be fine. You wouldn't need like that consistent service or a hands-on thing. Especially if you have a good, steady team that you trust and you know that they are educated enough to be able to follow your 5, 6, 7 steps. And you might just need a few transactions, or maybe you want a charitable setup, or maybe you need to understand a philanthropy play. It's more, I would say, a 1 or 2 time thing until you understand the strategies that you want to do and you're off to the races. Now, if you're paying $1 million or more in taxes, that is a little bit more complicated. That is not usually a 1-year engagement. That's usually a couple of years. We're trying to bring you slowly down. The worst thing you can do for the IRS is create this complex strategy that, one-time easement, sign off to somebody for $1 million to offset your taxes. It's a red flag. That's what you want to stay away from. So in cases with $1 million or more in taxes, we're talking about efficiency check. Like, you got to check your efficiencies across the table on something's wrong. Because what the IRS is telling you with that amount of taxes is that you need to reinvest either in your business or you need to find investments that are suitable for you. And you're not doing that. That's why you have that problem. So $1 million and up, usually you need to be engaged for a couple of years to actually set the strategies, to make movements, to actually do the transactions, to be able to bring those taxes down. But it's rather like a step down process. You want to not knock out more than $250,000 to $500,000 a year. Even that's pretty aggressive depending on which way you're going. But the intention here is not to pay 0 taxes. The intention here is that you have other investments and other plans and other ways to enhance your business and reinvest in the economy. The intention is not that you're going to actually take all this money and go to Vegas, right? That's not going to happen. So when we talk about tax strategies, one of the biggest things to understand is, yes, we can help you bring down your taxes, but that doesn't mean the money comes home to you. It means that you have to find another way to invest that money back into the economy or give it to the IRS, and that's their job. They're going to invest it for you. Literally, that's the point of taxation. Invest in the economy this way or that way.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think my biggest takeaway from what you said is, and that's what we're trying to preach a bit more on this channel, is it's the first thing is education, right? Like, we don't get this type of education in school, in university, or at all. You got to go get it yourself. And thanks God that today it's a lot more accessible with things like ChatGPT or YouTube channels or everything that's online. But the first step is just getting educated. Because one thing I've learned through meeting with experts like you and all the network that I've been able to build with financial advisors and stuff is that most of the tax code were actually built for business owners if they actually know how to use it. There's like section 162, section 412E, like those sections were made for people that makes a lot of money, that to have that freedom to decide what to do with their tax dollars, right? And you talk about a core concept about deploying those tax dollars into your own net worth or having more freedom about where those tax dollars go. Again, it's not about paying 0 taxes. It's about deciding where those tax dollars go. Can you explain more about what you mean by deploying your tax dollars into your own net worth, and how can you get control back with the amount of money you give to the IRS?
Absolutely. So the IRS is basically saying, here are all the codes in all the ways you can plug and play and invest in the economy. So a 401k is actually a section code in the IRS, and it's telling you how the money should go in and should get invested so that you can get that tax break. All of these codes that you just mentioned, plus things like 179, where you go buy a car, right? Cost segregation, like these are all IRS related codes that they have provided to business owners. You're absolutely right. W-2s actually get hurt the most, which is why the onus lays on them. But with business owners, it's much easier. The code is much easier. It's more flexibility. But once you have a W-2, yes, you get kind of stuck. So that's why it's so important to build your own business on the side. But yeah, the IRS has basically given us these section codes to be able to maximize investment in our economy. And if we don't understand that, it's kind of just blindly signing blank checks to people and saying, yeah, do what you may. And for some people, that might be okay. If you really don't know what to do with your money and you don't know how to invest it back into yourself, for example, a 401k, balance plans, these are all just tax strategies. Level 1, but they exist and they're meant to do this. So, for example, if you are a business owner, you are looking to buy more equipment. You might be looking to buy out the building you're in. You might be looking to expand your e-commerce presence, right? There are so many versions of that acceptable expenditure that goes back into your business and actually draws down your taxes. That's just a very simple way of understanding is like, how can I expand my business? And if I'm expanding my business, how can I invest more money? So if I'm grossing 2-3 million a year and I'm paying Uncle Sam about $1 million, I'm going to be like, wait a minute, what else can I do in my business? Can I buy real estate? Can I enhance my internal services? Do I need a better tech stack? Do I need to hire more employees? All of those are actual tax strategies. They're built into the code to enhance your business. And it can be any asset class. It doesn't have to be a 401k. What if you're a business owner that doesn't enjoy the whole set it and forget it plan, right?
Yeah.
Then we got to understand that and plan accordingly. So that means you might want to actually buy business real estate assets because it aligns better with your goals. So that's why I'm very shy in recommending people to a typical financial advisor or a CPA or as a problem solver. And I really am pushing on building more strategists that understand that, okay, it is not just set it and forget it if you want to make real wealth in the world, right? If you do set it and forget it, there's no harm, no foul. You're giving the money to the IRS and they will do it for you. That's literally what's happening.